Okay, Dave, here we are getting ready to start another season, and you set the bar pretty high for yourself to match or surpass. But how do you look at this season going in? You got a new quarterback, obviously, and some other new players at key positions.
Well, honestly, I can't wait to see our new quarterback play. I'm really excited about Jordan Lynch and the way he's grown as a player and a leader. The way he approaches the game, the passion that he has and the respect he has for the game of football. It's as a coach, something you hope all the guys, hope it rubs off on them, you know. So even though that may be a question mark to many, that's probably one position I'm not concerned about. You know, we're young on the offensive line. We do have some returning players that are very talented that just need experience now in chemistry. So that'll be one of our biggest probably projects, I guess, at the fall camp, is getting the 5 guys puzzled the right way. But we feel really good about, you know, returning all of our specialists. Last year that was a question mark, returning a lot of defensive players, returning some incredibly skilled wide receivers. And then, you know, getting Tyrone Clark back, getting Jason Scheffler back are 2 of our, not just better players, but 2 of the best leaders on our football team as well.
And Coach, you start out with Iowa at Soldier Field, a tough assignment. And I think you started out 1-2 last year, and rallied to have what I think is the longest winning streak in the country, with 9 games. So, how helpful is that to know that even if you do kind of stumble out of the gate with the tough assignments, that you can rally and do what you did?
Well, starting with Iowa, Iowa's a program that just me personally has a lot of respect for. I went to Drake University in the state of Iowa. You know, grew up watching Hayden Fry's teams, and you know, I'm kind of part of that tree a little bit with Coach Bielema being under Coach Fry, and then Coach Alvarez coming from Iowa. You know, so I kind of know the process. Coach Schneider trained Coach Mangino, who I also worked for. So, you know, I have a lot of respect for the way things are done there. For Coach Ferentz, you know, and what he represents to the game of college football. So I'm really excited to compete against those guys. You know, they're physical, they're tough, they're well coached. So I think it'll be a good indicator of what we need to do better and how we stack up. And if we do stumble, as you mentioned, you know, our team's very resilient. We had to go 2-3 to win 9 in a row, I think, last year. I think our team needed a reality check, and they got one. I hope I don't have to have the same kind of reality check this year. You know, I think it's a different team, and there's some guys that need to prove themselves more than maybe last year. You know, I inherited a team that really rolled through the MAC 2 years ago without any competition until the MAC championship game. So I think last year was a different season. They had to earn their victories. Many of them were come from behind. So this team won't take things for granted maybe the way we did early last season.
I asked you throughout last year about being, you know, your first year as a head coach,
right.
And now you've experienced an off season as a head coach, and you know all the things that go on off the field, some good, some not so good, that you have to deal with as a head coach. Explain how that experience was for you.
Well, you know, one thing I've learned is things are never as good as they seem, and things are never as bad as they seem. You know, and there's a lot of things that go on behind our walls that people don't know about, and there's a lot of opinions that are made. I do everything I can to represent not just my family, but the university and all the former players the way that I think they would want to be represented. You know, and sometimes I can do it quickly, and sometimes I have to take my time with it. But there's never a day you walk in there where you can say, hey, here's what I'm doing today. I got a calendar, and I'm going to stick to it. You know what I mean? I mean, there's always somebody that needs you, and that's part of your job, you know, is to help them. A lot of times they're fun assignments, you know. It's helping a guy get an internship, or it's maybe counseling a guy through a situation he's dealing with at home, or somebody passes away in their family. And those are all the things you sign up for and you look forward to dealing with. And obviously the things that happen that are against your team rules aren't fun things to deal with, but that's part of the reason they call you the head coach. You have to deal with them.
Of course, unfortunately, the news has been dominated by what happened at Penn State, and that's college football, and that's something that all of us have an opinion on, and it resonates in some way or another. What are your thoughts about that, and what possible good can come out of that nationwide in terms of transparency and everybody being accountable for what goes on in your program?
Well, obviously, the NCAA has levied a very strong opinion on how they stand. You know, I feel horrible for the victims of the situation. I feel bad for the game of college football. You know, I think that I chose to be a coach and be a college coach because I love being able to help young people grow up. And at times you lose that message because of what's going on right now. And, you know, I can't really say whether I think things are fair or not fair with what Penn State did. I'm not privy to all the things that happened. But, you know, at the same time, I'm sure the NCAA, I'm sure the Penn State and the you know, the legal officials that are dealing with it are going to do everything that they think that they should do.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck to you. I'm sure you're looking forward to another exciting season, and hope. I know you hope your fans and students come out to support you, right?
I do. I appreciate it, Freddie. It's always good to see you.
All right. My pleasure.